Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam with some very strange new satellite imagery of what was being described, or what is being described, as a strange heat anomaly in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean that was actually registered as a massive fire. Because this type of satellite, that's a weather satellite known as the Sumi NPP, operated by the NOAA, is used basically to pick up any fires on Earth. So, as you're seeing in this image here, captured through an instrument called the Visible Infrared Imaging Radiometer, we have thousands of these red dots up and down and inland of the coast of Brazil. So everywhere you'll find one of these red dots, that is a fire somewhere. It's a massive amount of heat being picked up via this radiation instrument. And so what was strange to NASA, and they've even admitted this, it was first posted on the Weather Channel and some others, is that as the satellite was heading over the Atlantic Ocean, they noticed hundreds of kilometers off of the coast of Brazil a very large red dot, or what they are calling a thermal anomaly. And so as this satellite was going over this area of the ocean, this area was flagged as being unusually warm, and that's when they noticed that this red dot was actually much larger than any of these other red dots in Brazil here, again, most of which are caused by fires, but basically just massive heat and radiation. And so, originally they thought maybe it was a natural gas flare, but it's not, because as you can see off the coast of Brazil here, we have multiple of these little dots in a row here, and those are actually gas flares, where the gas is actually being released in the ocean and it's coming up. And they're much smaller, and they happen much closer to the coast here. But this out here in the Atlantic is totally by itself, and they can't explain it. Now, volcanic activity can also light up this satellite, but there are no volcanoes anywhere near this area. And so the biggest theory, or at least the theory that is being put out, is that it very well may have something to do with the South Atlantic anomaly. And so what is the South Atlantic anomaly? Well, I've spoken about it before, but basically, if you guys have heard of the Bermuda Triangle down here on Earth, you could describe this area as the Bermuda Triangle of space. And what it is an area of space above the South Atlantic where Earth's magnetic field is much weaker. And it's centered directly over South America and the South Atlantic. And in this specific area, some strange things have been known to happen. And for whatever reason, Earth's magnetic field, there's almost a giant hole right over this area, and some have stated that there is something strange happening beneath the South Atlantic Ocean that is causing or punching this hole in Earth's radiation field. In fact, they shy away from sending satellites through this area of space because they end up getting fried. And so there was a question of, well, maybe there was some particles from space or the sun that had been trapped by the anomaly, and that's why it was reflected back as a fire in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. But others are saying that if that were the case, you'd think you would see much more dots scattered around this area, and not just one lone massive heat source. That up to right now, we don't know where it is. We don't know if it has anything to do with space at all, and it could very well be some sort of major heat source coming from below, down in the water, that was picked up by the satellite, because that is what the satellite does. And this isn't the first time we have discovered these strange heat anomalies in our oceans. I did a video, I think a year or two back, where we were discussing something that they were calling the blob, where this time it was in the Pacific Ocean, and where once again they were picking up this just totally gigantic heat source. And this was back in 2015. And while this one is much more massive and could very well be contributed to maybe something happening with the Earth's core, this strange red dot here is much more localized. It's a single source of heat, and it has just so happened to have been captured right in the middle of the South Atlantic anomaly, where many strange things have occurred. They don't let satellites go through there. They kind of wiggle around it where they can still take imagery, but they will do it at much further away and at different angles so as to not go directly through it. Some have even said that the South Atlantic anomaly is even a portal for things to enter and exit. Now, make of that what you will, but that has what has been said many times over throughout the years about this strange area of the ocean. So, what was originally picked up as a massive fire in the middle of the Atlantic still has many people scratching their heads over it. So, tell me what you guys think. I'll put a link to the article and some images of this down below. It doesn't surprise me one bit with all of the strange and mysterious things happening in our oceans, 90% of which have never been explored by man, so we really have no idea what's happening down deep in there. So stay tuned. We will continue to document these anomalies. In the meantime, hope you guys all had a great Halloween. Big thanks to all of the viewers who sent in pics of their Secureteam pumpkins, which I've been getting every year, and there was no shortage of them this year. Some really cool pumpkins and displays of Secureteam shirts and things like that. So really, really awesome. Hope you guys had a good time. You guys stay tuned, and I'll see you back in just a bit.